Hiya, good morning, happy Tuesday today. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome to. It is morning here, so excuse my waking upness. I hope you are well. And in this one, we talk about Venus. Yes, we're back into the Streams of Creme Brulee series and Venus in Libra, which officially spans the dates September 29th to October 22nd of this year of 2022. Venus in Libra. Venus sails out of its fall in Virgo into its domicile of Libra, yet it comes to be under the beams of the sun, an astrological planet which finds its fall in Libra. In this, I read this year a necessity this Libra season to deal with some unpleasant or disgruntled guests. Venus is the host or the steward, as I'm learning on my course for Hellenistic astrology that I'm taking, the ruler of houses. A house was also known as the steward of that house, so you can imagine that it takes care of guests. But I'm feeling more generally, more broadly, an assessment of who did what wrong and what rationally is going on must take place here. So it's an assessment still in retrograde season, and Venus also enters Libra, greeted by this opposition with retrograde Jupiter in Aries, and we must delicately navigate. There's a lot of sailing energy I'm feeling. Navigate the value of our own and other people's selfishness. I think this opposition is here to teach us a lot about that. And I'm also reading that this session, marks a time to be careful of what we wish for and to be careful of what sort of pacts we make, especially pacts that we are repeating. Venus has long been associated with circles and cycles of blood, or cycles and blood and beauty. Blood and beauty. And herein lies a message to be careful about the devils we dance with and the beautiful objects and objectified people we are choosing to remain with. And it's not a crime to do so. We are just starting the beginning of the shadow half of the year, so there could be for some a whole 6 months of getting out or getting rid of certain pacts or unhealthy objectifications. But with a lot of planets remaining retrograde as well this season, and with Mercury only just stationing direct after Venus has entered Libra, we are here in a slow and sensitive spot. This is what Venus is introducing, dealing both with our own and other people's hissy fits and childishness in ways that must account for our own actions and experiences as well as those of others. But Venus is a benefic after all, and there is here, I feel, good to be had from helping others and soothing their bruised egos and soothing our own bruised egos. The sun fallen, a bruised ego. There is a duty here to let others come back after their wrongdoing and to not judge them or cancel them. To always leave a door open. And as I said, I think in my Libra season video, which you can watch if you haven't already, this is adult energy with Libra. the beginning of the shadow half of the astral year. It is not child energy. Yet Venus is having to, in some ways, for some people, Venus is introducing this theme of having to deal with a child or a child energy in the most adult way. And Venus represents other things as well, like ritualistic duty, again, circles, ritualistic duty, ceremonies, temples. Venus represents these things. And in Libra season, where Venus is at home, in domicile, we are empowered to tend to this adult energy of acknowledging and getting on with things. It's very Libra. And the shadow half of the year, it does let things fall. It lets things rest. It's a bit like, sometimes I think when we start the shadow half of the year, it's a bit like looking at your own birth chart or a transit chart for the day and seeing all the lines and the squares and the oppositions and the retrogrades, and you're thinking, what a mess. Or like, if you don't know much about astrology, it's like looking at a photo album that spanned months and months or years even, and you're thinking, gosh, what a riot that was, or what a mess that was. Or reflecting on, I don't know, a meeting, or and how a meeting or an encounter was just so unnecessarily dramatic. And Libra season likes to trick us as well into playing judge and jury and being too backward looking, as well as trying to repair and recover things. But it's a shadow season. It's not really about repair and recovery as much as it is about, it's more that it is about reflection and resting. Though we would, I think, do better, I feel, to let things pan out on their own instead of playing judge and jury, and to let people get over themselves in their own time, to let ourselves get over ourselves. And this is just one of the lessons that is held within the sun's detriment, or the sun's fall, I should say, in Libra. And Venus in Libra can offer us an experience of wanting to seek eternal things, although we should be fully aware of what these eternal things are. Sorry, otherwise, superficiality, it easily creeps in, and we will start to get mired in the grey and the gloom and the warped romances as well of things. It's very interesting, Libra season. We can get very mired in very negative, stormy things, but we can also get mired in kind of twisted romances. And Saturn actually is the ruler of misery, and this is the planet that finds its exaltation in Libra. Very interesting. And so superficial fancies can only make us suffer sometimes, especially if we are not now tending to egoic wounds. And like the Two of Wands in the Tarot, Venus in Libra is marking a brilliant opportunity to meet others head on in their vision, but with a rational and dutiful approach, and an approach of value. And it would be a good time now, I feel, to ritualize the relationships already in our lives. I think as long as we are fair with things, as long as we comprehend the dynamics of our relationships, the give and the take, we can learn a lot from retrograde Jupiter in Aries and its opposition to Venus. We can unlock here the real foolishness behind some wish, or the underlying thing we were always learning from a former success or a former first in our lives. Jupiter retrograde in Aries is trying to teach many of us in many ways some sort of philosophy or lesson about having seized or achieved some kind of first and what it really means. And one good thing that can come from Venus and Libra also is starting afresh with a relationship. Although these solar things, Sun and Libra, like pride and affirmation, may remain quite rocky and a challenge. With Mercury as well, direct, and finally back in Libra, or eventually getting back into Libra, some things will just make sense and get on the right foot again. And it does mark a time that is less about criticizing and deconstructing our experiences and simply again swimming or sailing in and enjoying them. That's a big aspect, I think, to shadow seasons, the shadow half of the year. Just learning to start to swim and just be in what you have become and achieved. And the tiger has definitely landed on its feet now for some, and the ground is very clear, very firm. And Venus in Libra marks a time of committing more seriously or taking initiative in those relationships that are worth keeping, in the sense that they are also grounding, or in the sense that they are also reliable. They are there. And in that Venusian, quietly giggling, attracting, and Empress like way, we can also more easily reflect on why certain decisions were made and why karma dealt some people more in balance than others. And we come more to terms with hard and soft hands of justice. Of course, with the Sun always very close to Venus, this Libra season, entering Libra around about the same time, and also entering Scorpio later at the same time as Venus enters Scorpio, Scorpio being the detriment of Venus, we get this year that niggling necessity to take a relationship more seriously, or to assess a contract more carefully, to cherish exactly what we have and do not have, and to move accordingly and move appropriately as well, because Libra is about the appropriate action. So, poor ego aside, this is a brilliant karmic and cardinal time, and we are to change direction and to change heart sometimes. We are to invite destiny to do its worst or its best, to face justice head on. It's a brilliant time to dress our best, to face the music, to carry ourselves with reason and clarity, to also see even with our eyes closed, like the Two of Swords in the tarot. Often the person is blindfolded with a sword in each hand, and to let the embarrassing acts of others, or the embarrassment of ourselves, to let it be what it is, to let them be what they are, and not even in a caring way, but in an acknowledging way, an acknowledgement of the grand give and take of things, an acknowledgement of the light and the shadow, and a kind of welcoming of cards falling as they may, and having that Libran instrumental divine calmness about it. So that's all I have to say, and I will be back very soon with the full moon in Aries video. So see you then, and take a look at the description below if you would like a reading with me. Bye bye. Have a lovely Tuesday, do day. Mwah.